Hello, and thank you for squeezing me in today during all of these sound checks. So, first of all, who are you guys?
Vies Vignette is the band name, and
I'm Tomi Raikaslehto. I play the drums. I do the mixing, producing stuff, and composing. And
I'm Anniina. I'm the lead singer and singer-songwriter.
lyricist. All
Yeah.
the things that I don't do,
Basically.
which it varies from song to song.
Well, so just to kick things off, how's this year been treating you guys so far?
It's been alright. We have had with this band more couple of gigs, which is nice, and then I play in another group that plays progressive rock, and we have had also a steady stream of gigs, and now there's this. We have been doing some recording this morning, so new stuff is coming soon-ish.
Well, so first of all, tell me a little bit about yourselves and maybe what's the most interesting thing about you?
Well, usually I say that I'm in a band, but that's fairly obvious right now. I think, yeah, I don't know.
It's not that we're interesting people; we just make interesting music.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yes, or we are interesting people, but we can't say anything about ourselves because it's all so normal to us.
We're just Finnish.
Yeah,
Yes,
Finnish people never like to say anything good about themselves.
Yeah.
So.
or anything about themselves, unless we can bash ourselves. Then we are like, I'm the worst.
Okay, what's the worst thing about yourself?
Oh, many things.
I leave socks around.
Terrible.
It really is, yeah. Gets
my
bad.
my hairline is escaping. All that stuff.
Not very relevant.
Hey, if that's the worst thing about you, you're doing all right, I think. So, how did you guys discover a love of music, and what kind of background do you have in music?
Well, we were both studying back in Tornio, pop jazz conservatory Lappia. I was actually kind of going my second round there. I studied before, and then I went for a year as a music technique, music technology studies, and while she was still there as a musician.
So, I guess that explains how you met each other. But so, how did you form this band?
I mean, we both made music, so this kind of naturally made sense.
Yes, we were kind of hanging around that time quite a lot, and we spent the evening listening to some music, and we were like, this is good stuff. Why don't people make this kind of stuff anymore? And then we were just, no, we just have to do it ourselves.
Well, one of the things I'm always curious about, if I haven't seen a band get interviewed before, is how did you come up with the name, and what does it mean to you?
We get asked that a lot, and it just plain and simple sounded cool.
It's how you say big French, like it sounds French, but it's not actually. It's
The idea, like vignette, is kind of like a little story, I guess. So songs are little stories.
and Vies is kind of a live life sort of thing, but we kind of butchered it. It's kind of like the Police has the Auto Amour, which is not really French.
Okay, so like C'est la vie, that sort of V, but with an S on the end.
Yeah,
We don't know.
something like that.
Someone tell us.
I actually have a friend who has French background, and he was kind of asking me how to pronounce it right. I was just kind of, there's no way.
Don't ask questions.
Yeah.
Well, have you had any weird or funny or strange moments as a band yet so far?
Every gig.
Every time we have to get there, it's kind of strange.
In what way?
They are unusual people. They're kind of all over the place until we start playing, and even at then it may just go anywhere. But then it kind of fits together in the end. It's kind of weird, but it works. So I just wing with it.
Fair enough. Well, speaking of kind of weird, I remember this first time that I saw you guys live because it was a weird situation. And I was going to see Johanna von Herzen playing with Monotonia, and I think there was another band at this hard rock house in Roihuvuori. And you guys were there playing with a band called Saga at the same venue on the same night, but these were not the same show. So do you remember much about that or what that was all about?
Yeah, it's kind of strange how they do things in there. Yes, they have the main act kind of thing, which is usually the smaller than the one that comes after. But we were supposed to be kind of like the evening band of it was a Saturday, I guess. And then they have this jatkoklubi, which is like after the show is over, there's the next thing. And it usually has someone slightly bigger name who might. And the funny thing is that they sell tickets through the night, but when the people were coming in during our set, that money went to the next people.
That's really weird.
Yeah, and
Is this a public announcement?
but there has been actually some talk in Facebook about this in some groups. Like they have, I don't know if shade is the right word, but it's really strange how they do it, and there's been misunderstandings with a lot of people how it's supposed to work. And
I can see that.
but we were kind of like where we didn't expect to get anything out of this.
Fair enough. Well, I really enjoyed the vocal sound and the kind of jazziness of it, I suppose, because I didn't know that there was another show that night, so I wasn't expecting there to be a band playing when I showed up, and so I was only there for like maybe 2 songs or something, but I was just like, oh, I really like these vocals, and you know, it wasn't what I was used to hearing in Finland because I've mostly been covering metal bands for 10 years now. So how do you sort of see yourselves live, and what sort of show do you put on for people who haven't seen you play before?
I think, I mean, you know, from the beginning, we've kind of seen our things more on like a global scale. So we're just kind of stuck in Finland for now. But yeah.
It kind of happens when you're born in a place like this.
Yeah. I don't think, I mean, we're not very conscious like that. I think we just kind of, everyone shows up as themselves, and whatever that is, then that's our band.
Yeah, we're kind of going for that kind of natural vibe, how we are there, and just be it and without too much thinking. It's just try to be more organic that way. And I mean, it is quite likely you haven't heard anything like this, because this is like, even if our music has some familiar elements in there, it's kind of a mixture that hasn't existed before, which makes it extremely hard to sell anywhere, because we're like, what kind of music do you play?
Everything.
We just say progressive rock now.
Which is kind of close, but then not really.
No, there's a lot of jazz.
Yeah, I was thinking, like, I went to a jazz club in Amsterdam once, and I was like, damn, that was cool. And that's sort of the place I would imagine you guys fitting in really well.
Well, we are playing a jazz festival later this month, so it's Kalott Jazz and Blues. It's in Tornio-Haaparanta in the Sweden-Finnish border.
I mean, 29th of this month, it's the place.
Well, considering genres, again, like the first song on your album, Young Dreamer, I was kind of feeling like the Beatles and the Doors decided to make a jazz band. But that was the only song where I felt like I was hearing any sort of like clear influence from another band. And are those actually among your influences, or what kind of music do you guys actually listen to?
That's pretty funny, because I mean, he's probably more into Beatles and I'm Doors. So.
Well, I'm kind of a Doors nuts as well, but it was actually when I composed that song, I had just watched the Beatles Get Back in Disney Plus. I was very much in a Beatles mood, so I don't deny it, and you can hear it from the start. But the funny thing is, when I first played it, some new bandmates, they were like, "This is kind of Frank Zappa is how the song goes," and I was, "Oh." But there's some elements there, yes, I can see. But yeah, I won't say it's the conscious thing that it sounds like that so much there's that much Beatles influence, but it kind of happens. But what you listen just gets in there.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a very like a natural thing because we listen to old music, so it ends up sounding like that.
Hey, that's good. I'm on a real nostalgia kick right now. So
Yeah,
And I have played in a Beatles tribute band for like 4 years. So.
it's bound to happen at some point. Find one band that doesn't have something that's Beatles influenced in it, and
yeah.
I'll be very impressed.
But I took the keyboard the chord voicings from Miles Davis, so I do what I want.
We have a very big range of music we listen to.
There's not really borders in there. It's just this is fine. I do this.
And yeah, then after Young Dreamer, the album has quite a distinctive sound. Sounds consistent, but it's also very diverse within that consistency. So, for example, like Nausea 1 has like a rock ballad opening with like a creepy waltz in the chorus, and then Nausea 2 has moments that are like a haunted circus. So I was mostly curious about those two songs specifically and where they came from.
I think it's hard to talk about those songs without like the whole context of the album.
I mean, please give the whole context of the whole album if you want.
I mean, it's kind of divided into two. The A side is more so in like the world we live in, and the B side is very much on the internal world. So it does get a bit weird, and it sounds really snobbish, but I read Sartre's Nausea before writing those, so the name comes from that. I don't know how much it actually has those elements anymore, but it's part of like a storyline that goes throughout the album, I guess.
And then the music was like she wanted something sea shanty like or something with sea elements. I was like fiddling around with it, and then I didn't really remember how I get to the chorus, like that whole waltz thing that was really like sea shanty stuff, but just thought naturally, and then I presented it, and she was like, "Oh, that's cool." And then the Nausea 2 was actually also kind of fun. I first thought it was a kind of throwaway song, like I just ram something with my acoustic, and then just this goes there. I don't know, is this anything? And then I don't remember, did I do that circus thing before we decided I'm gonna actually do this song?
That's quite a while ago now, so it's hard to remember.
I'm so old, I don't remember anything.
And then the other song that kind of stuck out was Peaceful People, which just made me kind of go back to 70s rock singles that you might hear. I don't know what they played on. I'm not old enough to know what they played on the radio in the 70s, but what I felt like was kind of a radio single. Was that what you were going for, or is that just a coincidence?
I listened to for the whole summer. I basically only listened to 60s and 70s psychedelic rock, so that is the song that came out. It's kind of a wild card of.
And it's kind of divided in two because the verse and the chorus parts were made by her mostly. I just made the groove happen and stuff, but she made all the chords and stuff. And then the middle section and the solo was just kind of like, she was like, this could have something in this. Then it's just one of these moments I went, I'll just put some major 7 chords like this. Let's see what happens. And then I was like, and a solo section with kind of like this modal jazzy thing that has this kind of like a Western standoff kind of feeling into it, and just run away with it.
I love it. So when you're writing lyrics and things like that, what sorts of things do you write about?
Very good question. Anything that comes out, really. I
very specifically like political or
I've
anything
got
like that.
Some political songs. I mean, I don't really want to throw myself fully in there. That's a commitment. A lot of like internal things. Maybe I write pretty selfish songs in the end of the day, but
life stories, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah,
and experiences, I suppose. Well, what's happening with you guys in the future apart from this gig tonight at Love Potion Club and I guess this jazz festival in the way up north?
Yeah, there's a couple more shows this summer, and then we're gonna release the new stuff that we've been working today, and we'll continue to work tomorrow. Because when you get a gig, and there's people that we live all over country, so it's very hard to ask to get into one place. So it was kind of like we have long practice session tomorrow, then we have studio sessions, and then we have the gig, and so it's enough to people actually come around.
Yeah, new stuff coming. We haven't announced it yet, so.
Oh. No.
Oh no, but we're not saying what it is. Something new is coming. A bigger body of work.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, then to finish up, if you could make the world a better place by sharing a lesson you've learned on your musical journey so far, what would that be?
That is a good question.
Happy accidents are happy accidents.
I mean, I guess just kind of because I'm not from like a study background in music, so I've definitely kind of had some insecurities there. But I mean, as long as you believe in your thing, I think anything is possible. So that's really lame. Wow.
I know, but I think it's really important to remember that you should always kind of follow what interests you and not what you think other people will like, because then that just makes everything become generic, and people are individuals and they're interesting and unique, and when individuals put themselves into their art, then their art becomes interesting and unique. So I think that is a good lesson.
And also bouncing from that, I don't think you should like shy away from like being inspired by like a lot of different things, because in the end of the day no one is like unique. So it's
this is a citation of art form, kind of like we just take something from something always. Peter's ripped off and everybody rips off. And those who don't, they lie.
It's true. Everything has been done before. What's the line from this kind of a hippie guy from the Netherlands? I don't know if you know him, Arjen Lucassen. He has this song called Pink Beatles and a Purple Zeppelin. And the first line is just, every song's been sung before, every tune's been played. And I guess that's his major influences. And he's fantastic. I very much recommend him.
I actually have listened to some of that.
Well, that's it for my questions. Is there anything else you want to say or share?
Follow us anywhere and everywhere, and you'll see everything there that needs to be seen.
And Elvis is the king.
Always and forever.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.